Good morning. This is Noogaradio Health Essentials, and I'm your host, Loretta. And you just tuned into AM 1240 and FM 93.7 Noogaradio, plus live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You can also tune in on the TuneIn app. Welcome to your opportunity to take control of your health. I am your health and wellness guide, inspiration, advisor, messenger, reporter, and quarterback of issues related to your health, from nutrition and supplements to alternative therapies, medical interfaces, and all health challenges and goals. Your health concerns and issues are. What are your goals? What's important to you and your family? Also, any health-related activities and events in the Noogaradio listening or viewing area. Call me, email, tweet, or post your health concerns and activities. Interesting guest with me today, but first I want to tell you about Loretta Lynn's essential oils. If you suffer from allergies or sinuses or headaches, you have other health concerns, if you're interested in a safe and all-natural alternative for health issues, call me today for a free consultation and a free essential oil. Learn how essential oils can transform your life. 423-605-4719. Again, that's 423-605-4719. I'd like to welcome with me today, we have Dr. Margie Wesley from Four Seasons Wellness and Acupuncture. Welcome, Margie. How are you today?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm doing very, very well.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you coming out today to be with us. And we're going to talk just a little bit about acupuncture. A lot of people have concerns and questions, are afraid of needles, for example. And I think we're going to talk about that this morning on the show. But first, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you from Chattanooga?
No, I am from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I went to school there. I'm at Southwestern Acupuncture College. Yeah.
Great. Well, what brought you to Chattanooga, and how long have you been here?
I've been here for 7 years. I came because I wanted to go somewhere new, and my sister lived in Nashville, and I just like Chattanooga much better than I did Nashville.
Great. Well, we're pleased to have you, and I know, personally speaking, I have used acupuncture in the past for a variety of reasons, and some of them we'll talk about this morning, such as headaches. I think are one common area for people, back pain, and maybe you can tell us a little more about your practice. What kind of patients do you see?
I see a lot of patients with pain. I see a lot of veterans. I see infertility and people suffering from allergies and mental illness, depression and anxiety. That's the most of what comes in and sees me.
Wow, that's interesting. So most people would, I think, generally we assume that acupuncture is used more for pain. Can you tell us a little more about the mental health? How does acupuncture, tell us a little more about acupuncture itself, the treatment. How does that work?
Acupuncture works by stimulating your nervous system. You insert the needles, it stimulates the nervous system, sends signals back to the hypothalamus, where your hypothalamus helps regulate and balance your body.
Okay, so people that are afraid of needles, I know a lot of people tell me, oh, I couldn't do that because I'm afraid of needles. So how do you walk them through that? Because they may want to try acupuncture, but they're concerned because they're afraid it might hurt, I guess.
That, and it causes them lots of anxiety. They'll come and I just walk them through it. I tell them they're in charge. I put the needles in. I ask them how they're doing. If they're really anxious, I have them take some deep breaths. And I just go, that way, try to get them to interact with me. If this needle is hurting, tell me. I can readjust it, redo it, anything to make them feel more comfortable.
Now, when you talk about needles, most people automatically assume, you're drawing blood. But obviously, with acupuncture, it's actually a very minimal amount that goes into the skin. Is that correct?
Depending on where in the body. Where if it's places around the wrists and ankles where you don't have much tissue, it's just going to be barely through the skin. It's someplace on the buttocks where you can insert a needle, and in order for it to go through all the layers of muscle, it's going to have to be in a little bit deeper.
Okay, great. As far as mental health issues go, how do you work with people that have mental health issues? You mentioned veterans, so do you work with PTSD?
I don't work with them specifically with PTSD. They mostly come to me for pain. However, when they get on the table, I'll check with them and status, where is your anxiety level? They'll tell me. And after their treatment, they'll get up and their anxiety level is going to be so much less. I'll say, where's your anxiety? And somebody might say 8 out of 10. When they're finished, then it's more like 2 out of 10 or something.
Great. That's very interesting. Now, when you were talking about they do it on a table, so is it like a massage table? They come in and they lay down? Is it pretty much prone? I've actually done it sitting up in a chair. Do you do it that way as well?
I do. I can do it sitting up in the chair, either laying down or face up. And some people can't lay down. And on those, I'll have them either sit in the recliners that we have, or they'll have them put their head down, and I can then treat their back if they're unable to lay down on the bed.
Okay. Great. Well, you mentioned some other issues you work with, diabetes, and did you say you work with people with pregnant women as well?
I will work with pregnant women. However, I work more with infertility women who are trying to get pregnant.
And that's been very successful. Acupuncturists help a lot of women or couples.
Correct. It helps with it helps both that with using acupuncture and herbs together is what really helps.
Okay. Now I know on your website is Four Seasons Wellness, and I want to share that with our listeners today in case they want to get in touch with you. And you're here in Chattanooga. There are different treatment styles, and I read on your website that you use both Chinese acupuncture and Japanese. Can you explain a little bit more about what this is?
Sure. Chinese style, it tends to be more based on the stagnation of what they call energy or qi. And when that gets blocked, that causes pain and disease. And so you stimulate the different various acupuncture points. It helps release the stagnation and the blockage, and that helps reduce the pain or the disease. Japanese is a little bit different. It's based more on deficiencies, and you treat based on the deficiency. So you take the pulse, you determine which is the most deficient organ system, and then you treat that. And they believe that shallow insertion of the needles, sometimes we even do a touch needle technique, and that they believe that the qi comes to the needles. Where in Chinese, they tend to insert the needles a little bit deeper and stimulate the needles, what they call fishing for the qi. They're going and trying to get that qi sensation. So that's a little bit more aggressive than Japanese.
Okay, and you do a combination of both of these?
Yes, I tend to do more of a Japanese root treatment because I like that better, and then branch treatment, which is what we consider more treating the symptoms. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more Chinese there.
You mentioned herbal medicine too, or herbs. You use different herbs in your treatment. How does that work? How do you combine the needles with the herbs?
Yes, usually I will have them come in for their treatment, their first consultation. We talk. I will do an acupuncture treatment at that time. And if they're interested in herbs, then we go in and we do a little bit more in-depth talking. Sometimes I'll even palpate their abdomen and come up with an herbal formula then that week for them. And then when they come back the next week, then I am able to give them their formula that I came up with for them.
Okay, Right. Speaking of treatments, you mentioned a weekly coming back. So when you start with somebody, what is the treatment plan? Is there is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it every week? Is it, obviously, it probably depends on what their issues, health concerns are.
Correct. Usually, something that's a little bit more chronic will take more visits than something that's more acute. So if they came in and they just hurt their back over the weekend, then it might only just be a couple of visits. Where if they've had back pain forever, then it might be more visits. And sometimes a rule of thumb is one visit for every month that you've had it. So if you've had it for
1 month. So if you've had it like 2 or 3 years, you're talking
more, it's going to be more visits.
Take a longer. Have you noticed a difference in men versus women? Is there a difference in the treatment as well as possibly longevity or duration of their treatments?
I don't find much difference between the two.
Or pain levels are different?
Well, pain level then is more individual, based on each individual person.
Because women can tolerate pain better than men.
Sometimes.
Okay. All right. I noticed another treatment that you use is called cupping, and I'm familiar with cupping because of the Olympics, thanks to Michael Phelps, the gold medal swimmer last year. They showed that on the news a lot. Do you use cupping in your practice?
I do. I use an awful lot of cupping. It tends to really relax any muscles that are causing the patient issues. Especially back pain, their muscles in the back tend to be really tight, or if they tend to hold all their stress in their back.
Shoulders.
Yeah, it helps tremendously with that.
So what exactly is cupping? For people who aren't familiar with it, could you tell them what the procedure is?
I tend to use the original glass cups, and so you light a cotton ball with you put alcohol on it and light it, and you insert that into the cup, heat it up, and then you quickly put it on their, we'll just say back for an example, and it creates a vacuum and causes a suction, and then the cup is on, and then from there you can either move it if you want to do moving cupping, or you can just leave it in place.
And you mentioned the back. Is it used in other areas than like maybe the legs or arms?
Yep.
Pretty much anywhere?
I use it regularly on people's arms, their upper chest, their back, and their thighs.
Is this better for men or women, or are they about the same?
It's about the same, yeah.
Do you treat teenagers at all, or just adults?
Oh, I do. I'll treat teenagers.
Okay. And well, tell us about this one. I read something called moxibustion or moxibustion. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, moxibustion is burning of an herb called mugwort, and it is they put it in, they grind it up, it becomes this powder, and when you light it, and you can either put it on the skin, or they have little sticks that you can light, but you heat it up, and that herb creates a lot of heat, and that's really good for like if you have cold joints and muscles, as opposed to let me give you an example. This is one place I use it where I get great results, is women who are having PMS, and they get those incredibly very painful cramps prior to their menstrual cycle. We can put moxibustion, and that heat just completely relaxes. Such great relief that sometimes they're
Awesome.
almost in tears because they feel so good. Yeah,
that's great. I know a lot of women suffer from that at all ages, even teenagers. That would be very beneficial. So it sounds like some of the modalities, if I could call them that, the different styles of treatments, could be helpful for relaxing and giving people relief, whether it's pain, and then that could also help with other treatments, or other, like if you were getting, when I go to the chiropractor, I sometimes have, he has trouble adjusting me because my muscles are so tight. So it may be better to have some acupuncture done prior to, or cupping, for like if you can't get in and get a massage done.
Yes, this is where acupuncture greatly complements chiropractic. Is the chiropractor can align your bones, your structural system, but acupuncture then can get the muscles to relax, for one, so that they can relax the muscles so the chiropractor can make the adjustment, and two, that once the adjustment is made, the muscles aren't pulling it back out really fast. So if we get the muscles to relax, then it's going to help.
Well, that would definitely help. So I know a lot of people carry a lot of stress, whether you sit in front of a desk all day, hunched over, you're working at the computer. I tend to carry a lot of stress in my shoulders, and I'm sure a lot of men do as well, whether they're sitting at a desk, or a lot of them that have physical, laborious tasks or jobs, or even truck drivers. So there's a lot of people that could benefit from acupuncture. Tell us a little more about the moxibustion. I know there's different types, I think, of moxibustion. That, I don't know if you use all of those in your practice.
Right. There are some that are come in a stick that you burn. The stick kind of looks like a cigar, or a little bit big cigarette. That one you would light, and you would just kind of hold over any areas that you want to apply it, and you're not touching it. Then there is kind of indirect moxa, where maybe you might put a slice of ginger and then put the cone on top of that and burn it down. And then there's direct, where you actually put the moxa on and burn it down, and then you get interaction from the patient, and they tell you when they're starting to feel it, and you quickly remove it while it's burning.
Great. I don't know if we've hit on this one yet, but one of the issues that you deal with is weight loss. Acupuncture can help with weight loss.
It can help. It can help with the cravings. However, it's not the magic bullet. It's not like you come have acupuncture and you're going to immediately lose weight. You still have to watch what you eat. You still have to exercise, but it can help with some of the cravings.
Oh, okay, so it helps with the cravings. All right. Just to give our listeners some ideas of what acupuncture can be used for, from what I've seen on your website, you have things like addictions. Now those like alcohol addiction, tobacco, things like that. Okay. Allergies, asthma, back pain, of course, that we talked about, blood pressure, breathing problems, cancer.
It doesn't treat cancer. It treats the side effects you get from the chemo and the radiation.
Right. Okay, great. Definitely need some, like kind of almost like a Band-Aid, but it's nice to know, because there are so many treatments today in the Western world, that it's nice to have these European ones, or these traditional medicine that could help with the symptoms that we have to endure when we are receiving some kind of ongoing chronic treatments for things such as cancer, cholesterol, chronic fatigue, common cold. They haven't found a cure for the common cold yet. How do you help with that?
Just by getting the person to relax, and there are some points that they have kind of found that help boost the immune system. So I do have quite a few people, when they're starting to feel like they're coming down with the flu or a cold, they'll come in and see me immediately, and usually they either have a less serious case of it, or they are able to not come down with it at all, as well as taking herbs, and herbs work very well with both flu and common cold.
That's true. A lot of people think there's a magic cure, or there's going to be something that can help them, whether it's acupuncture or one thing, but I guess it's more of a combination of knowing or reaching out and finding resources like yourself who can help the symptoms and of some of these diseases that we do get that are acute and can really, put you in a bind sometimes with your family or with work. So I know you mentioned diet and exercise, and I think on your website it also mentions that you do work with people. You let them know they have a plan. They can't just come once a week for treatment and expect to be cured.
Correct.
And okay, well, sleep disorders. I know a lot of our listeners have sleep disorders. I recently met a young man in his 20s who I was quite surprised that he's enduring some sleeping problems, and he is open to some herbal or alternative therapies. So tell us a little bit about your sleeping disorders. How do you help patients with that?
There again, it is the combination of taking the herbs with the acupuncture treatments. Acupuncture can with the anxiety and relaxing the person. Usually if they have thoughts that they can't, the obsessive thoughts at night that prevents them from sleeping, then, we can help them relax with the acupuncture. But then taking the herbs, that can help them actually help with the sleep.
Well, I wanted to remind our listeners that they are listening to Noogaradio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. And you can also watch us streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And this show is brought to you by Loretta Lynn's Essential Oils. And if you are interested in how to minimize the chemicals and toxins to your body and the different benefits of health alternatives, such as essential oils, please give me a call today at 423-605. Again, my name's Loretta, and I'm with Loretta Lynn's Essential Oils, 423-605-4719. And I'd like to reintroduce to you, if you're just joining us, to Margie Wesley. She is an acupuncturist here in Chattanooga, and she is talking to us about the different specialties and treatment styles of acupuncture and how that can help issues from allergies and back pain to infertility, the common cold. You have down here cosmetic acupuncture. What is that?
Yeah, they've had done a lot of research, and you can actually fill in some of the lines on the face when you insert these really fine needles. What it does is it stimulates the collagen within your skin, and that kind of fills in the area.
Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, filling in polyphenols. Awesome. And there's just so much to acupuncture that people aren't aware of. How do you reach out to people? How do they find you?
They find us usually by our website and word of mouth.
And what is your website?
FourSeasonsWellness.com.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Noogaradio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
I've got a $10 bill for you at the best paint store in Chattanooga. David here. Big savings in exterior stains. Chattanooga Paint and Decorating. More than a paint store. Bring up $100 on your next upgrade. Plunk down just $90. Save on all outdoor stains in stock at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating. Prolix Sickens. Benjamin Moore, Flood, Sanson, Richards. 10% off through May 13th. Jim and his team are here to help and advise and to help you hold on to your money. 5529 Hickson Pike. Chattanooga Paint and Decorating. ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Hi, this is Nadia behind the green door. You've had ice cream and you've had shaved ice, but have you had snow cream? It is amazing. It's light, airy, fruity snowflakes melting on your tongue. You need to come and see us. Highway 58, green door next to Hardee's.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Noogaradio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news, now.
A woman's body was found shot to death in Renaissance Park in downtown Chattanooga. Multiple reports of gunshots in the downtown area. Police scoured the region trying to find where the victim was. Eventually, she was found shot to death on a pier in Renaissance Park. Now the hunt is on for the gunman. A truck and a young boy were stolen from a Circle K in Chattanooga. The owner of the truck said that he went inside the gas station to pay for his gas, and when he came back out, his blue truck was stolen. His young son was in the back seat. The car was recovered an hour later with the child inside and unharmed on Shepherd Road. Yet another motorcyclist hit by a car in Chattanooga, this time on Highway 58 right in front of the Family Dollar. Happened at about 9:30 p.m. Sunday night. A veteran of the Gulf War was killed in a house fire in Chattanooga. His name was Thomas Frazier. His son escaped through a bedroom window. Firefighters investigating the cause of the fire. Russell Stroud, Noogaradio News, now.
Expect mostly sunny and mainly dry weather out there through your afternoon. Highs 88 to 90 tonight. Becoming fair. Lows 68 to 70 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Just a slight chance of a spotty afternoon shower. Otherwise hot and humid with highs 90 to 93. Back pain. Call Hamilton Medical Center's Neurosurgery and Spine Center, open in Calhoun, for an appointment today. For more, their number 706-529-9041. And I'm Swarsheen 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr on Noogaradio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Noogaradio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Health Essentials on Noogaradio. You are listening to AM 1240 and FM 92.7. My name is Loretta, and I am your host from Essential Oil. So if you're looking for alternatives to your health care and you want to save money on health care, please give us a call. Today I'm excited that we have in the studio a special guest who is helping me with some questions and answers that you have about acupuncture. My guest this morning is Margie Wesley. Good morning, Margie. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. Well, we were talking before the break about the different styles of treatment, such as Chinese and Japanese acupuncture, and the different modalities, things that it can help with, or health issues. And we've covered, cupping, essential oils a little bit, herbal medicine, and moxibustion. There's another one called Tuna
is the Chinese way of doing massage. So it's basically massage therapy, but it's a different technique. It's not more pushing and rubbing. You might do like rolling your hand back and forth like this, pounding, and things like that.
I think I've had that done before. It's they don't use lotion with that, do they? Isn't it kind of
right? It's generally right on your skin.
Very rough. It's like getting an Indian burn. I think when kids are twisting your arm back and forth.
That's correct.
That's what I thought of when I saw that, and I'm like, that looks painful. And that do you use that much? Who do you use that on?
I use it very little. Usually somebody who has a lot of pain in their shoulders, and we've worked with the needles, getting them, and they're getting them up from the table. I might put and do a little bit of what I call manual manipulation, and do a little bit of twina up on their necks and shoulders.
Okay, twina. I'll have to remember that. Because I bike ride a lot, so I work my muscles tremendously. And I'm getting ready to go on a 7-day bike ride across the state of Iowa. It's called Ragbri. And every day is anywhere from 60 to 70 miles. And we have anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 feet of climbing. Now, I ride a recumbent, which means you recline. I'm not sitting on an upright bike. So you're using different muscles in that. And I've noticed that I've had troubles with my glutes lately because we're using different muscles. So with acupuncture, what part of your practice, how would you be able to treat me with something like that?
Well, I have you come in, have you lay on the table, and you would actually work and needle into the muscles that are causing your problems at this moment, and look for any trigger points that you may have and work with those.
Okay. Anything I could do at home? Is there anything that would help with as far as massaging it, or oils, things like that?
Well, there again, I usually will have my patients, if they have hips or things or thighs that they can get to, I just have them rub and palpate till they find those trigger points. and then actually show them how to do their own acupressure at home to help release that.
Oh, great. And I know a lot of people do acupressure or trigger points. It's just really knowing where to target on the body. I think sometimes it's harder to do it to yourself. So I was told recently, too, that because of the glutes, I have another problem that may be affected because of that. My feet, the bottoms of my feet have been burning. So I don't know if those are related or not. Somebody had told me that, yes, because besides the hips being misaligned, riding the bike and doing other exercises, by fixing, by coming in and getting acupuncture done, would that help you think that might go away, the burning of the feet? Is that related?
It could be. I mean, usually when you have any type of neuropathy and things like that, it can be related to the back based on how the nerves come out of your lower back and run down your leg with the sciatica. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told I have sciatica problems, but I didn't really feel like this was a sciatica problem. And recently when I went to the chiropractor and then I went to the massage therapist, that's really helped it. And I purchased a foam roller. So to help with the glutes and the piriformis. I know a lot of bike riders have that problem. There's something interesting I really wanted to bring up. You'd mentioned to me last week that you are doing some research on something new, that the FDA has new guidelines that provide for providers of treatment of pain, such as your chiropractors, your massage therapists, and yoga instructors, to help reduce opioid use. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's more that I've been seeing a lot of articles where people are referring to the new guidelines, and nothing was ever stated as to where or what those guidelines were. So I went out and did the research and found that on the FDA's website, and that's where I found the information. Finally, I wanted to see it in concrete before I started telling everybody that they have new guidelines. But it does say that acupuncture and chiropractor are recommended as a non-pharmacologic treatment for pain.
So what does that mean for the consumer? Will insurance pay for acupuncture treatments?
Well, currently in the state of Tennessee, not that many people have one of your benefits. Some people do, especially if you work for a company that is across the nation. They tend to make sure that they cover those in the states that require acupuncture to be covered by your medical insurance. But here in Tennessee, very few do. I would say contact your member services card, look on the card and contact your member services. But what people don't know is their HSA account can cover acupuncture.
Yeah, that's pretty popular. I think most people do have an HSA account, and you can use that for a lot of alternative therapies. Because I know even with my insurance, I have chiropractic, but usually it's either a dollar amount or it's a certain number of treatments that they usually cut you off at, per se. Well, tell us a little bit about some of your success stories. Can you share with us some stories about anything that stands out for different treatments since you've been doing this a while, and maybe if they're different here in Chattanooga than what you've noticed in New Mexico?
One story I have in mind was this young girl who was in a car accident, and she tried chiropractor and massage, and she got relief doing both of those modalities, but after a couple of days, everything came back. And so she came to see me, and she would get headaches every single day that were about 8 out of 10 every day. And her neck hurt from way down to her tailbone, just hurt constantly. And she came to see me once a week, and gradually, because it was something that was chronic and she had a while, it gradually came down, and her headaches were no longer 8 out of 10, and then it came down, and it was, kept continually decreasing. And after seeing her for a couple of years, she finally stopped coming to see me. But just before that, she was able to go to Six Flags and ride the roller coasters and her
I'd
head
be
was shaking
afraid.
around.
Oh.
When she got back, she had immediately get her neck adjusted by her chiropractor, but she was least able to do everything that a young person could do without having the headaches every single day and the neck and back pain.
Well, then I definitely need to come see you. I've been in multiple car accidents, and I do suffer from low back pain, neck pain, reoccurring. So every little thing, the thought of just going on a roller coaster makes my head hurt. I know. And when I was in Florida, I did, like I said earlier, I did go to the acupuncturist down there and was very thankful because I was getting really bad headaches and I had back pain. And that tremendously helped me. And last year when I was suffering from migraines, I know about the 8 out of 10. Mine were more 10 out of 10. And I was getting them every day for about 6 weeks or more. I was going to the neurologist, and of course they want to prescribe medication, try this, getting MRIs done, and nothing was working. And my daughter works for a neurologist in Florida, and she says, "Oh, Mom, that stuff doesn't work." And I'm like, "Well, now you tell me after I spent $130 on this prescription." So, yes, I believe tremendously in chiropractic and acupuncture. And just another success story to let people know that it does work. You just have to be open-minded enough to try it and give it a chance because it's safe. It's a safe alternative than taking drugs that may have, toxic or side effects because so many people are allergic to the variety of drugs that are out there. That's great. Do you have any other stories, success stories you'd like to share with us?
Oh. Let me see. All kinds of success stories. It's just
just one. I don't know. It could be sleeping. I know we mentioned that was a big one earlier this morning.
Oh, yeah. I had this one lady. She had treated just with herbs. She never came to see me for acupuncture at all.
Oh.
And she came, and I worked with her to palpate her abdomen. I, went through the signs and symptoms, talked to her. Came up with a formula, and she took it, and she was on like Ambien every night, and then if she still couldn't sleep, she would take a Xanax. So I mean, she was on stuff, and so we actually got her to where she was taking her medication not nearly like she was before.
And I know a lot of people would like to get off their medications, and you still have to consult your doctor and let your doctor, your regular practitioner, medical doctor or PA, physician's assistant, know when you are changing your routine. Sometimes that could be, a little startling to your body, and you want to be very careful because if you have some kind of reaction or, you want to know what's normal and you want your primary care, your family to know what's going on with you. Yeah, that's great. It's always refreshing to find resources such as yourself, and I was fortunate enough to actually stumble on you through the internet, but I think we may have met through Nutrition World. As I recall, you're affiliated with them, with your business, 4 Seasons Wellness and Acupuncture. So being just an amateur athlete, I know you work with all ages, pretty much, veterans and seniors. What about seniors? Do you work with them?
Oh, I work with seniors a lot because they're the ones that are really can benefit because they've been through everything. They've been to the doctor. They've been through all of this medication. Still hurting because, the older you get, the more you hurt. And so
That's true. We don't want to admit how old we are.
Exactly. But so they're the ones who really suffer, and it does help them, and they can get relief. I actually treated this one veteran who was a prisoner of war in the Korean War, and he kept asking me repeatedly, "Now, what do you put on those needles?" Because he couldn't believe that just the needles was this pain, and so it was it was nice being and he was in his 80s. When I treated him, it's been several years, so I haven't seen him for a while, so he's doing well, I guess.
Okay. How long did you treat him?
Probably about 6 months.
6 months. Well, I can imagine he probably had a lot of different issues to deal with. So when you get someone that comes to you, and if they're dealing with both maybe physical and mental issues, do you address them all at once, or do you try to narrow it down and focus on one thing at a time?
No, you address them at once, because you can't. How acupuncture works with your nervous system, you can't put a needle in and say, okay, you're only going to be for my depression or my anxiety, and you're only over here going to be for, my back pain. It works with the whole body.
So they all work.
Yes.
It's encompassing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. You mentioned older people. Does Medicare pay for acupuncture?
Unfortunately, Medicare does not cover it all.
Okay.
Maybe one of these days.
Maybe with the new health benefits program, we'll see. So is this considered, what you do obviously is traditional Chinese medicine? Does it fall under that umbrella, that category?
Correct. However, like I said, I do a combination really of traditional TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine, and a combination of the Japanese.
Okay. And I know you mentioned the herbs a lot. What about essential oils? Because essential oils seem to be very popular lately, and I've been told they're 70 times more potent than dried herbs. Do you use dried herbs, or what kind of herbs do you use?
I use granulars, which are, they kind of make the herb from the raw, and then it's kind of like a freeze dried in a way. They add a little bit of filler to them, and so I tend to use granular herbs. But essential oils, and what's really cool about essential oils is that yes, you do get the same as herbs, not all of the herbs, but you do get some of them. And then it's the ability of putting herbs into the hands of the everyday person. So anybody can learn on the essential oils and how to use them and how to apply them. And then they're just, everybody then can learn how to do that and can have access to it better than they do the raw herbs or the granular herbs.
Yeah, most people wouldn't know. They hear about essential oils from a friend, and they don't know, well, how do you use them? And you can use them aromatically, inhaling or diffuser. You can use them internally. You have to be careful which ones you're using, because there are some that are not safe to take internally. And then aromatically and topically. Of course, topically, as you mentioned, with the cupping. I think you could do it that way. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show this morning, Margie. And how do people get in touch with you?
They can call the office. My number is 423-883-5462.
Go ahead and say that again, just in case.
423-883-5462.
Wonderful. And I know you mentioned to me earlier during break that there are actually other professionals in your office besides yourself. You have a hypnotherapist?
We have a neurotherapist.
Neurotherapist. What is a neurotherapist?
She kind of bridges the gap between neurology and psychotherapy. She incorporates hypnotherapy in with her practice as well.
Awesome. We will have to bring her on the show, because there are so many alternatives and resources. Chattanooga has a wealth of professionals out there, whether it's from the medical profession or from alternative and naturopathic medicine. And what I'm here to do is to help be your facilitator and let you know what's available in the Chattanooga area, because I've often had people ask me, well, do you know a good acupuncturist, or do you even know an acupuncturist? And 6 years now, and actually I think you're the first one that I've met, and I'm so pleased that we did meet, because I'm definitely going to come see you for some of my pain issues and some other things, and to let people know, especially whether they're athletes or just stay-at-home moms. Because obviously a lot of patients that you have aren't professionals, but I know we did talk earlier about some professionals, and there are quite a few athletes, amateur and professional, that use acupuncture or cupping, different Chinese or Japanese styles of treatment. So in closing, is there anything you would like to share with us about what's popular in your practice that you see a lot of, that maybe people have been afraid to reach out to find you? So especially men, because we know men don't like to go to the doctor. How can you reassure them that you can help them with their back pain or their sleeping issues?
To reassure them, it's more, they just need to come in and try it. It's not the same as getting stuck with a hypodermic needle. The needles are very tiny. Yeah. They're about as thick as a hair, and mostly you don't feel the needles at all. People
you don't
can't understand that, but you don't.
Yeah. People, they just get scared because they think of all those needles. And so when I've had it done, I think it's more of an anxiety that we put on ourselves, and we don't realize we're just creating more of a monster. Because I've laid there, 20 minutes or so, a treatment, and fallen asleep. You're so relaxed, you forget the needles are there, but you have to be careful not to move too at the same time. Awesome. And how long does your treatments? Are they 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? What can people expect?
Well, the first treatment is anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, and the follow-up treatments are anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes.
45. Awesome. Okay. Well, we certainly appreciate you coming on today, and I know you had to make some changes in your schedule, but we hope that you'll come back and visit us again. This is Noogaradio Health Essentials, and I'm your host, Loretta Lynn. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Noogaradio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
This is Thomas DeMoss with Keller Williams Realty. I am a realtor in Chattanooga. We list and sell homes, work with buyers, work with home sellers. I have been involved in real estate for over 10 years. My background is as a real estate investor. That is what I bring to the table, is that real estate investor mindset. My job is to help you sell your house for the most money, employing the best marketing strategy and walking you through what can be a rather stressful process. So we are encouraging people who are on the fence or even thought